Hello, everybody, and my friends, greetings. Tonight, one more minute by the Greenwich Mean Time is going to be the Saint Valentine's Day of 2012. One more moment is 23:59, 58, 59. That's it. 2000. Happy Valentine's Day, the world. I have been waiting for this moment all my life. The greatest joy ever could come my way. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Love as much as you can, and allow people to have their freedom of choices and exercise their rights. And greatest joy gained by maintaining democracy. The world made by diamonds. Something that it took so many lives and sacrifices to get where it is now. Many best wishes to everybody. Okay, back to the mainstream. Democracy in the modern shape is made by the word secularism, meaning the separation of religion and politics. Politics, government, ministers, secretaries, anybody, prime ministers, anybody working for government, the law, constitutions. It does not allow religion to interfere with the works of politicians. They separated it. However, although this separation is crystal clear cut, that's nice, CCC. Well, okay, yeah, CCC. Crystal clear cut to the constitution of a democratic society, but we see the hands of religion still in it invisibly. Don't see it. One of the simple example, if the law of the democracy says everyone's equal, that means religious people too. It doesn't say everyone is equal except religious people. So therefore, since everyone in the eyes of democracy is equal, then why do religious people are exempted from paying inland revenue? Why they exempt? Why the exception? Because the charity, that they twist the law. They don't say that everybody is equal except religious people. They say, okay, charity workers are exempted from paying taxes. I can understand that. But a minority of the charity people are from churches, not a majority. The time that the church was in charge, it was a majority, not the people. But now are millions of organizations. They do the charities. Not just religion, but they are not exempted. Okay? They are not exempted completely by the law. Okay, so this is just a very minute example how they still have their hands in the law. But my subject is different. I say, if a society calls itself a secular system, which is another CCC ideology, that's it. You are secular or you're not. You call yourself a secular system to run the country's affair and do not allow religion to interfere with the government decision makings, then I say those societies, the secular societies that run by such a government, then those society is made by individuals. That can't be denied. There is no other way, is there? It's the individuals that make a society. If there was no individual, there would be no society. We call it individuals, we call it people. People are groups basically, but in every group they are still made of individuals. The scientific term of people is individuals, according to my understanding. Okay, now we see a secular system contains secular individuals. Now, to test this system, we can test individuals. If the individual passes the test, then that means that government or society passed the test too. Okay, so far we are clear. Now individuals, how are we going to tell them if they are secular or they are not? For starters, if they join a society that is secular, then they have to be secular. That means you can't be religious and join a secular society. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. You're cold and you want to be mixed with warm. What does it mean? You want to be warm or you want to be cold? So you're religious and you go to secular society and you want to still be religious? What's the point? You know you can't interfere with them. You know there is a crystal clear cut between the two, and there is an arm distance between the two. There is a gap between the two, it can't be filled. And yet you go into the society of secular system and you say, oh, I am religious. You're telling me that you are religious. I said, well, excuse me, this is a secular system. We don't have room for religions. Religions, you go to the religious people. You stay with religious people. You go and join them. I don't come to your group. You don't come to my group. There's no point. It's pointless. It's completely pointless to red goes into blue and says, I want to stay red. Whatever for? All right. So because then that system won't be a secular system then. This is the point. Now we test the individuals and we see, are you secular or religion? They say both. We say, look, by rights, they are separated from each other. You can't interfere. Now you are one person, not society, that you can interfere with others. You have to be interfering with yourself. So in one hand you think secular, and the other half of your body tells you you are religious. So you keep interfering with each other. Is then that a kind of a schizophrenia? To have of certain system beside your own private system. So one hand you want to be a law obedience, and the other hand you want to be religious obedience, and you keep clashing with each other within yourself, because one minute you say, well, you know, I follow the law, but God told me to go this way. Or God bless you. What does it mean? Excuse me. You can say the people can bless you, yes. Or you can say rich people can bless you, yes. Or money bless you, yes. Or goods bless you, yes. But where is it God coming into the way of our lives? God you do in church, that's fine, that's lovely. But why you want to mix it up with the legal system? Which it doesn't. When it comes to the society, doesn't allow religion to be mixed in that society. Yet that society is made of individuals, yet individuals are two-minded. Two-minded, at the top they are not two-minded. You see, it's a little bit contradictive. Not a little bit, it's crystal cut, clear, contradictive. You don't have little bit. You are, in the eyes of law, you are or you aren't. Until further decision or questioning. And therefore, excuse me, therefore if you ever go to court, then you have lawyers, and you have prosecutions, and you have the judge that decides, and the people on the side, 12 people, jury. And there they ask you whether you are or you are not, or you did or you didn't. You know, there is no time for explanation unless you are being asked by the right, either defendant or prosecutor. So, now, we have a society that claims to be secularism. That society is made by individuals, but individuals are two-minded. On one hand, they are secularism, and the other half of their body, that tells them to be holy attitudes, or you want to call it personality. Half of each in one body. Now, would it be not easier to handle that personality if they were one, either one, so the person knows which side they are on, rather than trying to switch each time to their own benefit, and all those individuals, they join together, trying to make one clear system. It doesn't work that way. It's not practical. It can't happen. How can I say? Okay, this is another example. You build a house made by bricks, built by bricks. You build a house and you even look at it. It says it's made by bricks. Okay, all bricks everywhere. All right. This is a house made by bricks, built by bricks, okay? But the individual bricks that you use to build this house, they are half brick and half sand. Okay? So what do? You build the building by the bricks at half and half, and show the bricks on the outside so people can see it is a building built by bricks. They don't see the inside. They don't see each individual brick is half a brick and half a sand or clay. Okay, that's the example that just came to my mind. So we have a big building that it looks made by bricks, but each bricks, if you look inside each bricks, then you see half of it is clay, and that is hidden. Now you tell me, is this building made by bricks? The secularity. Is this society that individuals are two-minded, and as a whole it looks secular? Is this the right way to do it? Is this a correct way we do it? Or is that why the result of democracy is not working? This is a lesson for Karl Marx to learn. That his theory of a perfect society is not as good as democratic, correct, or shall we say, pure doesn't mean really correct democracy. The individuals are democratic. That means individuals are by law. So for the individual, the religion, for individual, from democratic point of view, his or her religion is the law, which is made by people, not by religious, either personalities, lies, or deceive, or whatever. Is pure all the way from the moment person votes and uses that system to be secular and accepts it and wants it, and their forefather sacrificed for it, all the way to the top of the government. Everybody in process of that society, all right, they are secular. They don't think mixed. They don't act mixed, and they don't interfere. If they want to stay on the other side, which is religion, then they go and join the religion and make the religion work. Why you can't be as good at one whole unit as you are in two halves? It just doesn't, it's not. So what is causing all this then? Why are they people in two-minded? They're perfectly dedicated, democratic, system stylist, and yet from inside they all have religious tendencies. And they ignore that part. They pretend that the part doesn't exist. But of course it does. Democracy, where did the democracy come from? Democracy comes from reducing religion. You go and read, you go and discover yourself. It's so simple. It's so simple. Before democracy, there was something there, wasn't there? There was a king, all right? And who was the king run by? There wasn't a law. There was no people, there was no freedom of choice. There was a king. And the king, we know that, was always advised by religious people. Of course we know that. When the kings were in power, they were watchdogged by religious leaders. Because the holy God in the past was so much influential. So religious had its influences down to the finest detail. The Church of Rome was running the Europe, every country in the Europe, till a couple of 100 years ago. Imagine if it wasn't for second testimony or modern testimony, whatever they call it, I don't know religious things. I just hear some things. And religion lost its ground more and more and more and more and more, and the vacuum got filled with democracy. Where do you think come from then, democracy? Lack of something created something else. As simple as that. Something went down, something came up. Something got lighter, something got heavier. Where do you think the democracy come from then? You fought to get rid of those powers, absolute. Those absolute was by kings who was basically a puppet of the religious people. The king of all the kings were from after the Romans. As soon as the Christianity took over, the Church of Pope, Church of Rome, Church of Rome. They took in the whole Europe. As far as my little history tells me, I study a little bit. I read a little bit about it. This is my clear understanding. The Church of Rome, and that's why King Henry VIII separated it and created the Church of England, so he's eased off the pressure. What else was it for? Because it was too much pressure, too much telling him what to do, and he couldn't handle it. He didn't want it. Why should you tell me what to do? I can run my own country, he was saying. Must be this is so easy to configure. So democracy came on board. Look at the Arabian countries now. They have a first step of democracy, because religion was really holding them down. The leaders, they thought they were God sent. Gaddafi, 40 years in power, and what was it? He was keeping the people quiet, mosque after mosque after mosque for them. Assad now another 40 years, him and his father, Bashar Assad, 40 years. Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, another 20-25 years. After that, 30 years altogether. And before that, even the king of Iran, they all been led by religion. The entire the Middle East is run by religion. In Saudi Arabia today, you say women can't drive, you cut hands, you chop heads, same way the God tells you to do. Is that democracy? What kind of constitution do they have? It's religious constitution is led by Quran, the holy book of Islam. In democracy, we don't allow that. It's secularism. We say, look, law, religion for religious, and the law for lawyers. Okay? But individuals still have the tendency towards religion. That's why democracy is not paying off, is not working properly. That's why so much confusion, so much mishaps, so much chaos in every corner, no matter how well, how many millions of best lawyers they have been invented in Harvard University of the United States of America, and in Oxford University, in Cambridge universities, and so many popular universities. Millions of people got degree. But no, the democracy got widened up. But the effect is still the same. People are suffering. Everybody is suffering. Somewhere wars, hungers, What kind of democracy is it? It's still rich is getting richer, poor is getting poorer throughout, and equality is becoming not much different, really. Not really on the root scale of it. It's only on the surface. The bureaucracy took over. Instead, where there is democracy, there is a stronger bureaucracy. That we know that too. That's a fact. So, why the democracy is not working? Because the individuals that they make, they build that society, the individuals, they have tendency for religion. Whether they can't pursue that legal terms, but it is poor enough to say this individual is not genuinely a democratic person, but he is acting democratic person. He really doesn't know whether he wants to be religious or he wants to be a democratic person, secular person. He doesn't really not sure. So he's pretending. He's not religious and he's not democratic, half and half. But it's certainly not as good. That's his privilege. Of course it is his privilege. That whatever he wants that you can have, as long as he doesn't do anybody any harm. My argument is democracy is not being pursued the way it should. Democracy is half cooked. That's why it's not working. So I'm pointing out the reason for it. Individuals, they are not responsible enough for the society they are making. Okay? And it's simply democratic. They don't know what is religion, and they don't know, they will not know what is democracy. They never know either one. Half and half. But when you are religion, you know exactly what, if you are religious, then you know what religion is all about. You don't just say, oh, well, with the help of God or something. There is no act. Because in democracy, the system, it doesn't run that way. It doesn't ask for the help of God. Democratic system is based on material. You go and get your own vehicle somewhere and burn it. It's your car, it's your choice. You burn it. But if the smoke goes somebody's eyes, then they sue you for money. What else? Property. Democracy is based on material, not on theories. So you like the material and you like the theories. You like money and you like ghosts. And you're still thinking there is a ghost, there is a God, there is a heaven. You like a paradise and you like the heaven as well. But it doesn't work. It's quite naive. It's two halves. Because they can intercept each other at a time that you don't need. So you're going 1 minute, you're walking along the road and you're thinking all democratically and all evenly, and suddenly you hear the verse comes to your mind, oh, God said you go this way. And you break all the possible rules. What do? You hide them all. You don't tell lies because you go to jail. You tell lies because the God tells you not to. because you're afraid to go in hell. One example. There are millions of examples. You see, these individuals that make the society are the founder of the society. If society is built on individuals that they are right, then society becomes right. So therefore, our culture has to be defined. Which side we have to be. You are not forced to, you have a choice. Same as you have a choice to be mad if you like. And as long as you don't hurt anybody, or you don't take anybody's freedom, which equals to hurting them, and you do that, but it's hidden, it's secret, and you do it under the carpet. It's not out, and so everybody can see and everybody can benefit. It's half and half, is just a matter of beneficiality. That's why the world with so much democracy is not paying off. In a democratic country, they have problem, they pass the problem to the poor countries, and poor countries, they can't defend themselves. So are you thinking legally, or do you think godly? You see, holy religion. Which side you thinking? They don't mix. I can assure you they don't mix. Is kind of a schizophrenia. To have personalities of those kinds. One religious and the other one is democratic. They don't mix up. They tell you in the books. They tell you in the court of law, where you exercise your democracy to the finest form of it. There are no admissible. The holy words are not admissible. The only words are admissible that are the words that can be material. You agree with another person to amend the constitution. You agree or with a person when you see an item from same angle of view with a specification. There is no two ways about what you see. Everybody has to see it. That's how the legal system works. When you make a law or attachment or clause to it, all right, or a clause to it, that clause is made by material. You have to have a material. You do anyway, whether you like it or you don't. You can't agree with a person on something that is not visible, is pie in the sky, you don't see, so you cannot agree. So the disagreement be forever, which will turn to war, or you have to pretend that you agree under duress. So democratic laws are made of materials. What is it we are talking about? You know and I know. That's why our democracy is built that way. What are we talking about? When you say what, you don't mean invisible what, you mean visible what. What is for something that you can see. It's made of material. It's got 3 dimensions. You can measure it and make a shape of it so we can see. And then we can agree on it. But if you bring a word from holy, how can I agree with you on hell or heaven? How can I agree with it? That doesn't we can't, no matter how many million people you bring, never find 2 people have the same point of view. Not point of view, same eyes of view. It doesn't. It's invisible. You can't see. How can you agree? You either have to be pretending or on the duress, or you have to have a continuous disagreement. And the law doesn't work that way. You compromise on the color of it, on the place of it, and this and that. But 50% of it, you have to see what you're talking about. Other 50% of it is where to apply it. So it's a matter of what and where. And both of them on this planet, not outside in the sky. You help it to build that way, and you help it to build a society to the top, but you still have a half and half. You're still not carrying out for yourself, you're carrying out for the society. And thinking that society should make you, but you build the society. Society doesn't make you, you build the society. You make the society. Of course we do. Individuals make a society. Society doesn't make individuals. That would be a junta. That would be a sheer dictatorship. All right? So, secularism, it applies on a society, but individuals don't. Thank you.